In this video, I'm going to take you through my CIMA 10-minute guide how to pass your strategic case study examination for the November 24 to February 25 Rotomyne case study pre-CIMA materials. My name is James, welcome to my channel, and if you'd like access to these notes, be sure to click the link in the description of this video. You'll also find down there some mock examinations and other packs I'd recommend through Astranti, who I'm affiliated with, and for pure transparency, as ever on the channel, if you were to purchase any of those, I'd be entitled to a small commission, which goes to supporting the YouTube channel. So thank you as always for all of your support, and let's get stuck into it straight away, because area number one is about setting the scene. Who are Rotomyne and what do they actually do on there? Straight away, we've got to go down to page 2 on here to get you started as to, right, if you're watching this video and your exam is tomorrow, you've got to understand we've got a quoted company here, so that means it's listed on a stock exchange. Key thing for context, the CIMA markers always talk about is students don't pick out the sort of seniority that they're in, and you're a senior manager reporting to the board and advising on special projects on there. The country which we're actually located in is called Poland on there. Again, you've got to be careful on the actual currency because that is another area we'll see when we come on to the financials. And I'll take you down to page 7 now, really just to sort of set the scene as to the scale of Rotomyne on here. So founded in the 1950s, you can see in the top right hand side, as we said, listed on a stock exchange. And they actually have 6 different countries in which they actually operate, and they're the world's 4th largest lithium producer on there. We'll come on to a few more details in other videos, but it's just to set the scene as to the scale that we're looking at here and other areas and the types of industry which we're going to come on to now. But in terms of the actual industry and how Rotomyne are getting on, area number 2 that I'm going to quickly show you is all about the financial performance. Now for that, the key points for you to have a look at is if you go down to page 13 in the pre-seed notes, this is where we're given Rotomyne's actual group statement of profit and loss. And the key things here to note, as you can see on my notes, is revenue has been actually decreasing from 23 to 24. It's the same for the profits on there. You can see it referenced with the letter A, how that links into the statement of changes in equity. The interesting thing on here for your notes, again, something to consider in your discussions on the exam day, is if you have a look at Rotomyne Group's actual statement of changes in equity. Granted, like we said, the revenue's dropping down, profits are actually decreasing, but look at the level of dividends on there under the retained earnings column, 1,684. So even though we're actually making less, they are actually still having high levels of dividends, and there are actual translations or loss on translations because Rotomyne are actually operating globally. So that has come down to fluctuation changes in the currency. So again, a currency risk that may sort of stem a question on your exam. And then when we come to the actual competitor given, which is Lithdig, you'll see it in my notes just to sort of colour coordinate it there in blue. They've also had drops in revenue and profit, but it's not to the same sort of significant level as Rotomyne. It's just to be aware of. You've also got access to the operating profit margins, net profit margins on there. They're relatively similar, but again, something that you could prepare with the pre-seed notes and apply in your answers. You have not got time during your case study exam to be calculating. You've got to just be sort of flicking back from one to another. You've really got to get stuck into the questions on the exam day. It is very, very time pressured. The other thing to just note on here from financial performance is the currency and loss on translation for Lithdig. Again, we've only got a sort of 27 million swing there in terms of the currency, so they're not as exposed to currency risk as much on there, but you can still see high levels of dividends. If we then come on to the actual methods now for mining itself, so this is where we're coming on to part 3, the actual mining industry on my notes. I'm going to bring you up here because just for context, when I was going through these, you don't have to be a mining expert. You've just got to have a decent understanding of what's going on in the scenario. And the first place to go to on the left-hand side is what actually does Rotomyne actually manufacture and what percentage of their total revenues does that relate to. So you can see on there we've got the battery grade lithium hydroxide or On there, you can tell I'm very much a scientific guy on here, but 45% for that first product, 26% for the non-battery grade lithium hydroxide. And this is where, again, we've got to link it into the actual, how does the business function? Now, this is where top of page 7, bottom of page 8, so I'll read it through because it's quite an important sentence on here. So the company has grown steadily since Rotomyne now owns and operates 6 hard rock mines and 3 traditional brine mines, located in a total of 6 different countries. That's where the currency risk comes into it. Rotomyne is one of the world's 4 largest lithium producers. What does that mean to someone who's got an exam tomorrow to help them out? Well, in terms of the environmental impact, the rock mines and the traditional brine mines, if you then scroll up in the notes all the way up here, you can see the little breakdown as to rock mines on there. So lithium production methods, rock mines are a massive proportion on there, along with traditional brine mines. And this is where, granted, it is part of the production methods, it's a large part of it. Rotomyne are actually utilising these methods on there. However, this is where you get other areas of the syllabus, such as pestle analysis, we'll come on to shortly, that these methods that Rotomyne actually operate with have massive impacts on the environment, like soil erosion on there, water pollution, and this is where we've also got to consider the processes behind it. So the traditional brine mines, we've got processes on there of 12 to 18 months, evaporation, it's the sort of size, scale, and other elements of the production process as well. So again, it's just being aware what are the actual implications of it, and they've thrown in there the direct lithium extraction method that actually has less of an environmental impact. So again, linking into the E part of a pestle analysis could be thrown in there as well. In terms of the mining industry, and then linking it to they are a large company, they are listed on there, but we are also given further down on here, I'll just bring it down because it sort of links into the financial performance. We were told the share price history and the actual beta of the company, and you can see in recent years it's actually been increasing, but then the last 2 years where we're given, this is a key bit for your notes, 2023, 2024, why has it been going down? Well, that's linking it to the revenue, linking it to the profits decreasing, but shareholder maximisation factors could also be brought in there as well. So again, we might be given more information on the case study exam day just to be aware of, and Rotomyne's beta is above 1, so that means it's higher than the market and therefore more volatile on there. So that's the mining industry itself. Coming on to area number 4 now for our 10-minute review. If you go on to page 9, key areas that I thought have got to go in the video, James, they have to be included, is the vision, mission and values on there. There are loads of areas that they've considered, sort of linking it could be to the social factors of pestle, other different areas of innovation, technology, supply, all these other different factors on there that you should consider. In other words, what you could get given on the case study exam day, does it align to those values? And it could also be thrown in with an ethics style question or linked into corporate governance. If we come down to now the news stories, pages 18 to 22, these are all areas as to what is actually going on in the country itself, and therefore we have a few areas in the newspapers that link into technology on there, and also we've got other factors involving the environment. So again, you can refer back to these, quote these directly within your answers. That is what the examiner is going to be looking for. And if you scroll down to the bottom of my notes, you can see that we've got the blueprint on here, and these are all the core activity areas you need to be aware of with the different weightings. The last area is page number 11 on there, and this is where we've got accountability for the board members, who's in charge of what, and something will go wrong on your actual case study exam day. Please put that down in your notes as an expectation. Key things to note down here is they don't actually have an ICT or a technology director, and they've linked it into other areas about how the industry is changing and the risks associated with that. If Rotomyne don't keep up with it, they could fall behind. And then we've got all these different names on here with different accountability areas. So my final tip would be, on the case study exam day, whatever you get in that requirement, first question you ask yourself is, which person on the board does it relate to, and who is going to be held accountable? How can I have a balanced argument? They love to test you on evaluations, pros and against, for a sort of SWOT analysis approach. So applying those board responsibilities and using the exact name is going to be critical to helping you pass. And that takes us through our lovely 10-minute guide to help you pass your case study SCS exam. If you've enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a massive like, subscribe, I'll be doing more videos, and check out the notes and those affiliate links down below. Click in the description, and I'll see you on the other side now for another video. So best luck with your exam.